At this point, the only story is, can they break records, and who's going to get second? Because the reality is, at this point, like the points are really evenly distributed everywhere else outside of the top-heavy 86 points that ESA has. I mean, all the way down to like 12th, 13th, 14th place. I think you see teams with like 12, 13, 14 points overall, and a chance to get to that 30, 40-point threshold if they pop off here. So obviously, we got to kick off with ESA. They're playing insanely dominant. Now, the fact that they're still running Caustic despite the nerfs, pretty damn impressive. They stuck to their guns. Skittlecakes on Caustic is arguably one of the best, if not the best, Caustics in the game, and they're still rocking the same team comp in World's Edge.
I think you could put Skittlecakes on any legend at the moment, and you'd be saying he's one of the best of X in a game. He's just been the X factor for his team. He has been ridiculous. Every single thing that he's done has been perfect so far in the game. As we do look at the map overhead, just to see A, where the circle is going, but B, also where the teams are dropping. If you're just joining us, to give you that little bit of information, it's going to be an Epicenter ending by the looks of things. C9 are going to be pretty happy with that. They play these circles incredibly well. No surprise to see that, of course, with them dropping over at Climatizer. But you could argue this is a difficult zone for ESA to play. And you know what? I will say it. It's a difficult zone for ESA to play. They've got to travel up to the north, down from the south. I say it with my tongue firmly in my cheek, of course, because it seems like at the moment any circle they could put the circle back on Storm Point, and everybody else knew it was on Storm Point. And with ESA dropping on World's Edge, they'd still probably somehow put points on the board, John. That's how they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, if they manage to get a top 3 performance again here, I mean, not that I would doubt them, but yeah, very difficult rotation. I would just be mind blown. I think the rotation here for them is going to be through Geyser and through the caves all the way up to the east side of the map and continue to hug the east. So we'll see how they rotate. They do, of course, have Valkyrie for that rotate. Meanwhile, Cloud9 gets a northern zone. I know this handsome man named Monsoon is watching right now and smiling, happy to see a northern zone and probably thinking, why the hell can't Complexity be in this game, dropping the northern side of the map? But Cloud9, well, they get to be the benefactor of that. They get a zone that pulls towards them. Meanwhile, LMK are ready to fight with Built by Gamers. That's over towards Lava Siphon.
Yeah, BBG have had numerous fights off of drop so far, and LMK have lost one player already. Car in the hands here of turns, so any short-range battles, or close-range battles, I should say, he's going to be able to rip through some shields. But at the moment, they've got to work out how they want to play this one. They're kind of just making sure that they're sticking together, which is always a smart thing to do when you lose one player. See if you can pick one player out to try and even up the numbers a little bit. But at the moment, it's looking like a pretty difficult battle, as that player also has a purple shield. And when you've got white and you've got blue on your side, it makes things a little bit more difficult for you.
Yeah, that's decent damage from turns right here. So if I'm LMK and I want to take this fight, now's the time to do it. But the question is, do you want to take this fight? Wicked's going to get healed back to full. Notice how they actually gave the blue shield over to Wraith, given that the Wraith is typically the tip of the spear, initiating fights, breaking ice. Wise decision there. But you don't want to fight a 2v3. Obviously, that's one thing to love about Apex is you can win 2v3 fights. You can clutch up. But if I am this squad in LMK, I'm trying to avoid this fight. Not going to happen, though. Easier said than done, as Dimmy's going to get taken out. That's 2/3 of the squad eliminated. Make it a third. Oh, no, it's a third party. Their squad comes through.
Another squad comes through. I was about to say the same. You know, that Horizon's throw-in, just give the last kill away. But no, it's not. It is a third party arriving, and all of a sudden, BBG might actually be able to survive this and get away. And it's actually scary who are coming through and trying to cause some problems. There's the knock, and there is BBG actually down. Well, Wicked at least has been finished. This is an absolute war going down at the start of this map here on Lava Siphon. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised with how long this is taking, John, for another team to maybe turn up in a few moments' time.
Yeah, and I think Scary drops in trees. That's a really fast rotate for them to get there. And again, over BBG, who's in contention for a top 5 finish. I mean, they've been playing really well. If they lose their entire squad, it's looking dangerous. And it looks like one full squad was wiped. And I don't know if it was it BBG or was it? I think it was. I think BBG's out.
We'll have to wait and see and get confirmation if it is BBG
completely
wiped.
But
I
don't know.
It's a mess, basically, down here at Lava Siphon at the moment. But what we do know is we have 19 squads remaining, and ESA is still alive. So it's going to be it's carnage finally followed up by a little bit of calm here over at Lava Siphon. You can see that C9 are also in the vicinity, so are CLG. So an interesting battle maybe developing on the other side of things. This is actually over, at Climatizer, where you see CLG making a little bit of a play here. Sentinel in the hands of Albrelelli, which already gets my hairs standing on end, because you know that this man has the mechanical ability to hit a big headshot and make it look pretty flashy and create the opening that his team needs.
That's right. Cloud9 and CLG both nearby. Question is, do they want to take this fight over north towards Climatizer? It looks like they'll just coexist, both banking on the zone to pull north. Cloud9 just posted up and chilling. Sentinel in the hands of Albrelelli always seems to have a sniper of some sort, which is pretty typical for a Gibraltar. Charge rifle, Sentinel, you name it. Looks like Malice Mamba, controller player for for CLG, the new addition to the CLG squad. Got picked up from Buff Pathfinder and has kind of been my breakout player of the tournament so far, Mark. He's playing really, really well.
Yeah, playing really, really well, and CLG in a great position towards endgame as well. Not only because of the physical position they find themselves in, but also playing with that Loba means that they're going to have lots of loot to play with, ability to steal away resources, batteries, whatever it might be, and most importantly, ammo. I think it's something that's overlooked a lot of the time with the black market. It's the fact that you just have the ability to constantly fight, constantly deal damage. Speaking of which, some damage being done here once again by Team Scary, who are living up to their name at the moment as they pick up a couple of kills on these knocks.
Team Scary, man, they have just been a menace. Absolute menace. I mean, one team after another team, both on Stormpoint and World's Edge. Probably the most aggressive team we've seen so far, and they're not done yet. I've been impressed by this squad. They pick up Genjaman, who joins this team. Obviously, the Astral Esports squad that we saw in Pro League last season didn't really make a whole lot of noise, but had some kind of glimpses, some blinks of greatness. I'm excited to see if the Scary team continues to evolve. 18 points right now. I mean, they have a chance to break into the top 5 here if they can pop off these last 2 games. Yeah,
it would be a really, really good start for them as well, just to get into that top 5. Good points on the board in week 1 of the Pro League Split number 2. It's always, I think, if you're going into any week, right, you're thinking top 5, you're pretty happy with that, I would imagine, for a lot of teams coming out of the carnage that will ensue. But you can see on the right-hand side as well some of the damage done through our Split 1 regular seasons. No surprise to see Mr. Imperial Howl up at the top, and with Sweet just behind him. But I think when we get to the end of Split 2, we might see some different names up there. Possibly Skill Cakes, by the sounds of things, with the way he's been playing today.
Yeah, that is a great point.
I think he might have done nearly 40k damage already today, to be fair.
Yeah, let's just be honest. Let's tally it up. He probably already broke that record. Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly, ESA is up there. And I was actually talking back and forth with, I think it was Zach in the chat. You know, do you think ESA is going to win the entirety of Split 2 or the ALGS Championships? And my biggest question for ESA is I think they can, especially if it's online. And obviously this is Fallout speculation here. Obviously nothing's announced, nothing's official. But if, hopefully I'm praying, we go back to LAN, ESA doesn't have a whole lot of LAN experience. So I just wonder, will the nerves come through with ESA playing on LAN for the first time against TSM? This is all speculation, but you got to say ESA is in the S tier alongside TSM, Sentinels, and normally I'd throw NRG in there, but not performing really well today. I'd still have to throw them in that S tier.
Hey, NRG, all about the redemption arc. We've seen that in Split 1. We saw a slow start for them, and then they came storming back, and they just like to build a story. NRG, they're good friends of ours in the fact that they give us a lot to talk about a lot of the time. But Cloud9's still looking very comfortable. It looks like they've managed to force CLG away into the dome building that kind of separates the two sides of the northern side of Climatizer here. So they're going to be very, very comfortable. Speaking of comfortable, you can see that Atlanta Premier also looking like they've found themselves a cozy little sofa to sit on for quite some time. A little reminder, as you can see, the teams remaining on the right-hand side of your screen. 86 points currently Esports Arena find themselves on. We've only lost one team so far in our game number 5, as we do see a little bit of crypto action actually reintroducing itself here. Crook changing things up, and the good thing about crypto, of course, had that little buff in the new season, so we might get to see some cool stuff coming in from crypto.
Yeah, that is true. Caustic nerfs, crypto buffs, and crypto back on display here in North America, which we saw a decent amount of in NA, but we saw a lot of in EMEA. That was one of the big differences, was crypto between those two regions. And as things slow down a little bit here, 19 squads remain. We're starting talking about kind of S tier, A tier. Chat, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Look, which teams are in the S tier? I think Mark and I probably both agree. NRG, Sentinels, ESA, and TSM. A tier underneath that, I'd probably throw Cloud9, and a few others in.
Oh, you get them riled up here, John, with this kind of talk. I mean, I respect it. I respect it.
I'd like to hear your thoughts, Mark, but chat, let us know as well. Make sure to tweet at us, at Fallout with 2 T's, at OnsetMTH. Is that your Twitter, Mark?
Yeah, I think so.
My man. Let us know your thoughts. Use hashtag ALGS. Post in the chat. We'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. Who's S tier, who's A tier, et cetera, as we jump back into gameplay here. Crook getting some good visibility, good recon, good intel here for Atlanta Premier as they're up north towards Climatizer near Cloud9, CLG, and others.
Well, not too much action going down at the moment. Everyone seems to be quite comfortable either on their rotation, their path to where they want to play towards this late game, or already finding themselves a spot to play. By the way, John, now you need to do a tier list. You need to start the stream, and I want to see an Apex Legends team's tier list, and I want to see the reaction, because I tell you what, there's nothing like a tier list to get people going, as Albrelele still finds himself with the Sentinel in hand and still finds no targets to fire at, no heads to be removed, so to speak.
Yeah, is that the truth? Twitch stream coming right after the broadcast of the official Apex Legends Global Series tier list, aka just Fallout Nonsense opinions. That's what will be live. But Furia finds himself in a fight here over towards Epicenter. It's going to be NRG, who rotated ridiculously fast, by the way, all the way from staging in the southwest side of the map. They made it into Epi, and they got some of the best positioning, but Optimal Ambition takes the spot right above them. So 3 teams nearby, NRG, Furia, and Optimal Ambition, and you know neither of these teams want to take this fight necessarily because another team's going to pounce.
Yeah, Furia in a bit of a difficult spot here. This isn't a great place to play. It's kind of leaves yourself open to a lot of angles. You can see there's not a huge amount of cover, and they're just constantly taking chip damage from where they are. They're already forced to burn that bubble after the damage being done, not just by the team NRG, who are down on that low ground, but also a couple of teams just poking at them from distance. So they've got a decision to make here. If I'm them, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to find a quick rotation, maybe a path away, because otherwise they can find Zera Tricky on his back as a Thermite comes in as well and heats things up even more.
Nathan, good angles here. Goes to the head glitch, and oh my gosh, the damage is done. Beams and fries, but Nathan has to back out. Somehow still alive right now. The dome shield's going to come through. NRG going to heal up, but they're not able to capitalize on that damage just yet. Just enough defense coming through, and here's the third party we talked about. This is why it was not worth the fight. 100 Thieves nearby, and they find a knock on Sweet. Their IGL is out.
Sweet down. Furia had one player down as well. Sweet's actually still alive. Hasn't been finished off quite yet. Optimal Ambition probably thinking about, hey, can we get involved with this, or do we want to learn from the mistakes of the team surrounding us and just let it play out until we see a couple more knocks come in? As I say that, Sweet will be finished off, so Nathan and Rocker will have to play this one as a 2. Furia get back to a full 3-player complement, so you're right. NRG, they did actually get the initial knock onto Furia, tried to be aggressive to take advantage of it, but unfortunately for them, just too many teams in the vicinity to really capitalize on it.
Yeah, and you know that's where typically NRG, one of the best IGLs in all of Apex, behind Sweet, and usually makes the right calls. Again, I don't agree with that call to play aggressive. Maybe they knew something we didn't know, but you're in Epicenter, and you're in a northern zone finish. You know there's going to be at least 3-4 teams just on the outskirts of Epicenter on high ground that are just ready to get damage in. You're obviously very vulnerable to damage, a lot of sight lines coming from various areas, so that's not necessarily the right fight to take. And now Furia, knowing they have a 3v2, decides to take the fight, and instead is going to take that black market. They get a black market to chill with.
NRG and Furia changing places. You can see just spinning around each other. Furia trying to push them and just being out-rotated. It was almost a micro-rotation away. A little bit of kiss chase going down inside of Epicenter, and nobody quite connecting as yet as Team Liquid now looking to step up their game a little bit, make a push onto the team inside of this building. Nocturnal going to take some damage. It's 100 Thieves who are inside of the building, and they're holding the line for now.
Team Liquid dropping in Skyhook alongside 100 Thieves. Both made that northern rotation through survey camp to top Epicenter. That's why they're all nearby. Gilderson's in his debut on this Team Liquid squad. If you're just joining, we've talked about that a lot. One of the marquee, kind of bigger roster changes. The controller player from Pittsburgh Knights in Gilderson's joins Team Liquid. And here comes, right behind them, an RCO squad, Nando's, which we are just going to wholeheartedly agree that is his gamer tag in honor of the British chain. Got to be careful because they're nearby.
Hey, we all love some peri-peri chicken. Nocturnal, though, he's going to have a little bit of time to maybe go and pick some up, because he gets taken down as Noct and Esports Arena now make their assault towards this zone. You can see they've got around 40 seconds to play with here as Noct tries to force his way forward. Defensive bombardment going to go in, and it's going to hit as well. Duplex gets the knock onto Slurpee G, and now you can see Esports Arena with the numbers advantage, and with Noct with this 301, which is singing all the notes you want to hear, almost managed to get the kill. It was actually a Spitfire, excuse me, I stand corrected. The Spitfire still manages to hit a pretty good tune, as unfortunately they can't get the knock, but they certainly have created the space they require, maybe to think about a Valkyrie redeploy now. Yeah,
literally Spitfire shooting for days. Hadn't even reloaded yet, still had 23 bullets in the chamber. So Noct on controller with the Spitfire in hand will be dangerous in late game. We'll keep a close eye on them, we'll keep tabs on them and check back in. But that's a tough rotation, they're out of the circle right now. We'll see what they can do. Is Team Liquid eliminated by 100 Thieves? Their neighbors from Skyhook take them out here. 100 Thieves with 30 points has silently been popping off. They broke into the top 4 last game.
They certainly did, and they are getting better and better, and it is going to take them a little bit of time after a team change, as it is with any team, right? Just to get that little bit of cohesion down, work out how to work around each other in those fights, in those big moments in the end game. But 100 Thieves getting better and better, it seems, as the games do progress. Omnu now, he's going to be sticking on Ash as well, which is something that I like from him, just trying to see if they can be a little bit more aggressive, if they need to take some fights and need to reposition when they come under a little bit of pressure. But for now, they control all of this high ground. Anyone rotating in from the survey side is going to be taking shots. Anyone from Epicenter is going to be taking shots. And you can see here, Omnu getting so much information, but also chipping away at shields as well, burning through resources of the teams below.
Take a look at Onmu's stats. 41 total kills, 1.1 kills per game. Some solid stats from Onmu. who I believe is the IGL of this 100 Thieves squad. Vaxlon joining this team, former member of CLG and former champion on that CLG roster, alongside Pow Pow and I'm Madness way back when. Nice wingman shot's going to connect long range from Onmu. 100 Thieves, really, really good spot, really good high ground, and arguably kind of a god spot here in this late game. We'll see where the zone continues to pull, but they're sitting pretty.
NRG are alive, and it looks like Sweet is back in the game. So they managed to somehow or other get a res off and get their IGL back involved. 18 squads still remaining, though, John. I mean, let's take a second here. This is Zone 4. We've got a minute left. Look how small that next zone is going to be. There is not enough room for everyone to live, to coexist. All of the rooms at the inn are full, and that means, unfortunately, some people are going to have to be evacuated. But with 18 squads remaining here, NRG are in a pretty good spot, but they've only got a little bit of cover here with the bin, but hey, look what happens. You go on Sweet's POV, and the man has a Kraber.
What? From being dead and watching his teammates to being alive with a Kraber. Only Sweet. As we take a look at the minimap here, I want to quickly explain what you see. 3 lightly blue-tinted circles. Those are Loba ultimates, black markets. The gray circle is obviously the next zone. The dotted line circle is the next zone. Big shout out to EA and Respawn for the great UI changes here in spectator mode. We get to now see where the next 2 zones are going to be. Love that look. And yeah, you're right. This next rotation in 7 seconds is going to be madness, Mark. 19 squads, 18 squads, probably going to get down to about 10 or 11.
C9 are going to have to do some damage as well. You can see they're under pressure here. Abralele knows they have to go forward, knows he has to do something, has to get the bubble down. Or is his feet going to be exposed, though? You can see there's just a little bit of a gap between the bottom of that bubble and the teams below, so they might be able to thread a few shots through, but the zone is now closing. 30 seconds until it does so. Now they have to make their move, and it looks like they don't want to leave anything to risk. C9 are going to be forced into a fight, but you just see with 18 squads alive here, John, there's just no room to move without taking damage.
Yeah, this is a dangerous fight, a dangerous situation. Let's jump into this dangerous listen-in with Cloud9, see how they fare.
Stay above them. I'm just dead, bro. I'm getting shot from everyone. Not even to 2v3 this. Wait, I think they left.
I just got exploded. They're just all right there. Come here. No, we were safe right here. I didn't know we were safe.
Swing us, bro.
And you said, see how they fare. They did not fare well. That's just safe to say. That was not a good situation for Cloud9. Obviously, really difficult scenario. 13 squads left. We talked about how crazy that zone would be, that pull from 18 to 13 already.
And now look at the position that NRG find themselves in, just outside of the next zone, but with the Kraber in hand, they have the ability just to disrupt every single rotation. It's almost strange to see numbers not popping up when the trigger is pulled here from Sweet. Usually one of the best Kraber players in the game, but maybe just missing a couple of shots here. Not quite hitting the form we're used to seeing him. He's got a couple more opportunities to do so. Maybe these are just warning shots. Maybe he's just letting them know he has the Kraber. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, so to speak.
I'd literally die if he just drops it and gives it to Rocker. It's like, all right, listen, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead here, Rocker.
Enough's enough.
Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, not what we're used to seeing here with the Kraber in Sweet's hands. A couple missed shots, but at the end of the day, Furia nearby could have changed things up a little bit. Lazura taking on Slurpee G at the top right of your screen. It's a big pick from our Challenger Circuit squad. 10 squads remaining. NRG in a pretty good spot here, but they do have to traverse low to high. They're going to play Gatekeeper for as long as they can as this zone's collapsing, and they can pick up quite a bit of KP here.
Yeah, they certainly can. I think that's the plan here for NRG, right? They have pretty good access to the zone. They also have another Loba ult down to make sure they've got all the ammo they need, all of the resources they need, a couple of bats, couple of cells, whatever it might be, and to really disrupt all of these teams that are going to have to move to the north. One of those teams you can see here is Team Scary. Ganjaman is going to be on our screens. He's got a Rampage and Prowler, but he's also taking a little bit of damage, and this is, I think, Furia, who are trying to make the move down from height with that fuse. Unfortunately, they can't quite do the damage that was required to make it a comfortable move, but Sweet is looking to just hard aim this corner, see if anyone is going to walk into his crosshairs. At the moment, Sweet doesn't have any options, or any targets, should I say, to hit the Kraber shot on, but there's 116. Not the headshot, but the damage immediately turned into a kill, but now NRG are getting pushed.
Yeah, they're actually going to get flanked, and now they're sandwiched. They find themselves at least a few KP. The quick shield swap's going to come through. Sweet has to go huge right now with the Peacekeeper. This is the first shot. The revive is in. Sweet buys just enough time. Nathan is back up, and the gold backpack helps. Some way, somehow, they survive. They take out a full squad, and they're not done yet.
No, they're not. You can see that was a portal. Attempted third party coming in. 100 Thieves also in that kill feed. And NRG have gone from being in a horrible spot just a few minutes ago down to 2. Sweet revived. Back in the game. Kraber in hands and now being inside of that top 4. Now they make the push onto the bubble, but Rocket will fall.
And Noct is still alive. ESA is in this game again. One of the squads remaining here. RCO gets taken out. Rocker does fall, like you said. Nathan as well. Sweet last alive. He connects. Sweet gets one. Goes for the second. He's going to hit another 145. Sweet is not missing. Just took him a little while to warm up. Misses that quick scope, but it's now going to be forced to back out. Reset. Shield swap is not there. And Sweet is going to get taken out here momentarily.
Trying to use that knockdown shield, though. Gets away for now, but that will be NRG out. 100 Thieves involved in that fight, causing problems and eliminating NRG. 3 squads remain.
Are you kidding?
And who would have thought it? Kings of the castle, up on the high ground, all alive. It's ESA.
What is happening right now? ESA is literally just having their way. They are on another... We talked about a tier list. God tier, then S tier. ESA in that God tier right now. Not even a question. 99 points. About to break the 100-point threshold. ESA, last squad remaining. Full-blown 3 versus 3 here against 100T.
Deep breath, everybody. But if it goes anything like the score and like the form book has... Expect to see ESA are your champions in just a few moments' time. The team who could play spoiler, though, is 100 Thieves. They get that bubble down. They now make that move. The fight is about to go down between the two as Duplex moves in.
Too easy. ESA not missing a shot. And Mark, you called it perfectly. ESA is your champions. Fly across the screen. And they are now back-to-back-to-back wins here. Are you kidding me? This is an absolute display of perfection from ESA.
I think it's back-to-back-to-back-to-back for
right.
ESA. It has just been, I don't even know, I'm running out of superlatives to use right now.